We're delighted to have you all here in this rather inspiring venue, I have to say, the Royal Opera House. Very bright and I hope inspiring for the speakers as well. My name is Shrivo Saha. I lead the FMCG team at Google in the UK. Now, we work with a lot of different companies who do marketing and branding, and what's become evident across the last few years is that the internet is having a profound effect on marketing. What marketers do, their jobs, much more than just another medium. So we're delighted that today we can have a fantastic line of speakers for you. We have people who are thought leaders in their space. We've got the man who's responsible for digitizing all of Unilever's brands globally. We've got thought leaders and change agents from the agency world as well, from the media space, from creative and from planning, and they'll be sharing their thoughts as well. We've even got a real digital native, a guy who has become a real internet star in his own right, a man who's made his own brand and his own name on YouTube, and we'll be hearing about some of his experiences. And I'm particularly excited that the team that brought to you the Old Spice campaign, who's seen the Old Spice campaign? Yeah, so most of you who've seen that, the team that brought you the man that your man could smell like have flown in, especially for today, from the US to share with us their story. So very exciting speakers for today. Now, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our first speaker. Matt Brittin is Managing Director for Google UK and Ireland. Many of you may have met him or seen him speak at other Google events. But today, he is going to be sharing with us his views on marketing in a digital world and what's going to be changing across the next decade.
We're delighted to have you here today, and I'm going to try to set the tone by trying to be provocative, lay out a load of facts fast, and start us on our journey about thinking about marketing. I don't think we've got the answers, but we all want to think about marketing and think what we can do differently and hopefully be inspired, as Shrivo said. So, a commercial break. So this is an ad from about 10 years after the launch of commercial television. And what do you notice? It is basically a radio ad and a print ad put together, isn't it? And I think one of the challenges for all of us is that marketing tends to lag behind consumers and to lag behind technology. 10 years after the launch of that medium, we're getting ads that are like that. Now, fortunately, kind of 40 or 50 years later, we've got ads that really start to use the power and the richness of the medium. So that was then, and this is now. A story, movie production values, a great score, refreshment, no words. And what are they selling us? They're selling us something that's free. They're selling us water. What a journey marketing has been on, but it's taken it a bit of a time to catch up with what the technology could do. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask, just to sort of get a sense of the audience we have here today, how many people have marketing in their job titles? Can you just raise your hands? Fantastic, quite a lot. How many people have digital in their job titles? Interesting, okay, not so many. How many people have electricity in their job titles? Anybody? Nobody? How many people have books in their job titles? Nobody. Books and printing presses changed the world. Electricity changed the world, and in the early days of electricity, you used to have a vice president of electricity because it was so important and new. And now, of course, everything we do is powered by electricity. It's interesting. I keep asking that question about digital because I think the day that nobody says they've got digital in their job title is the day that marketing and digital marketing has changed organizations. I'm going to go on and talk a little bit about that today. But I guess it's easy to think that with all this change, we have to do things differently. But I think the fundamentals of marketing still apply today. Big ideas are very important, perhaps more important than ever before, big ideas. And ideas can be big in new and interesting ways. Big ideas. What's the big idea behind this? Oh dear, it's very early, isn't it? Please don't be shy, otherwise I'm going to fail horribly. But big idea behind this? Probably the best lager in the world. Fantastic. If Carlsberg did it, it would be brilliant because it's probably the best lager in the world. What about the big idea behind this? Every little helps. We're warming up. This one. Mini adventure, mini adventure. A mini is all about adventuring. It's got a great spirit behind it. Fantastic. What about this? Gentlemen? Women want to snog you when you wear this, or something like that, isn't it? It's not as good as some other products that we'll hear from later, I'm sure. So, but big ideas that are simple and everybody can remember and resonate, that bring an emotion to a product and bring a connection to a product. Now, anybody watching Mad Men? I was watching Mad Men last night. It's great, isn't it? Takes you back to a time where the big idea was about television. In fact, it was the beginning of the time when big ideas were about television. And you conceived of a great idea that you could tell on television, and you then cascaded it into other media in whatever way you could. And it was all about the big idea, the TV idea. In a way, that still kind of permeates the way we do things today. Marketing in the early 20th century was supposed to be media neutral. Supposed to be an idea that transcended all different types of media, an idea that cut across all of the different media, and there were more choices by then, that was media neutral. I'm unconvinced by media neutral in the sense I think it's quite hard to conceive of an idea without thinking about how it looks and how it feels. But digital is not media. It's easy to get confused here because you think, oh, TV, and that you think about the TV content and you think about the TV platform, or you think about print and you think about what you can do in print and what it looks like in a newspaper or a magazine. You think about radio is audio. Digital is not media. Digital is everything, is the real world, right? Digital is just another version of the real world where you can have video and you can have audio and you can have text. But digital is different in a couple of important ways because, and it's kind of obvious, so I'm not teaching you anything you don't know. Digital is interactive. Digital is addressable. Digital has massive scale. And digital allows us to form communities, social networks, groups of interests, and participate in a way that we've never done before. So don't think about digital as media. Digital is not media. Digital allows media to do things it's never been able to do before. And I believe that that is why digital changes everything in the same way that electricity changes everything, in the same way that printed material and reading and literacy changed everything back some years ago. And so, a provocative point of view, big ideas are digital first. Big ideas, the really important fundamental of marketing, are going to be digital first if they're going to be successful. Now, you can probably argue that there are lots of times when it's not digital first, but just go with this because I think it can underpin and challenge us to think, which is what today is all about. So big ideas are digital first. Let me talk about why digital first, because I know a little bit about that. Firstly, scale. Everyone is connected. Look at that. We have 1 trillion URLs in our index now. That is 1,000 billion. 1,000, I think, but a lot. And it's getting bigger all the time. There's a huge amount of information out there, websites, documents, videos, photographs, you name it. A huge amount of information out there, and it's only getting bigger, and we're all able to connect to it. 25% now of the world's population is now online, over 70% of UK households, and 500 million people plus now on Facebook sharing information. So everyone's connected, and increasingly so. Also, everyone is in entertainment in an active way. 25 hours of video content uploaded to YouTube every minute. 25 hours uploaded every minute. Over 2 billion video streams played out a day. Participative. Did you know that 1 in 8 iPlayer views now come from games consoles? Blurring what we're doing. Entertainment is gaming and is watching video through my gaming console. Over 10 billion songs now sold on iTunes. So everyone's in entertainment. And importantly, everyone is or has the potential to be a broadcaster. My 9-year-old son can upload an embarrassing video and share it with the world in seconds at 0 cost. 20 million bloggers. Did you know, this is scary, in the US, there are more people earning a living as bloggers than there are lawyers. I'm not saying they're earning the same living as the lawyers earn, but there are more people earning decent income from blogging now than there are lawyers. Huge amounts of photos, huge amounts of tweeting, etc. So we know this. Anybody tweeting right now? Well, there's a couple of nods. I haven't given you a lot of content, sorry, to tweet, but try and get better. All this is changing consumer behavior. The first moment of truth, when the consumer stands in front of the shelf looking at your product, there's now a clear 0 moment of truth. A 0 moment of truth when they're encountering the brand and engaging with the brand in a digital space. And this is really powerful. There's some research here from FMCG in the US. And this just shows the number of people making decisions in stores. In 2007, 40% made a decision on the product to purchase in store. In 2009, had halved. Okay? This is a fundamental change in how we make decisions, enabled by access to all of that information and the views of our friends and the views of people like us and the views of people we don't know. Also, digital means multi-channel and multimedia. So multi-channel users and their value is something that John Lewis and others have spoken about. Ocean retailer in Europe knows how to get a return in stores for their investment online. So this is making real connections. And the people who are figuring this out are getting a better ROI and more success and cutting through. So digital means multi-channel, multimedia, and multiplying sales. And we've only just begun. We've only just begun because look at what's going to happen next. Half of all new internet connections are now mobile. Half of all new internet connections today are mobile. By 2013, smartphones will overtake PC sales. And that's important because we know when you have a smartphone, like an iPhone, hello to Apple with their majestic new store just down the corner. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android phone, your use of the internet goes up perhaps 40 or 50 times compared with another high-end device that doesn't have such a user-friendly way of accessing internet content. So smartphones really change the way people access the internet. And mobile phones are much more democratic. So 67% of the world's population already have a mobile phone, and smartphones are going to get cheaper, and their distribution changes everything. It also empowers people to save time and money and creates wealth in developing economies. So it's very exciting for the world, but it also changes the nature of the internet. So it's only going to accelerate. So let me just make another assertion. Digital can make you better. It can make you better at marketing, but it can make you better at insight and strategy and sales and service. Digital can change the way organizations work and make them smarter. Digital insights mean that putting digital first can help you have a more successful organization. So let me explain a little bit why in the simplest example I can. If I wasn't at Google, do you know what I would be doing? Making ads for Old Spice? Probably not. I think I would be selling dresses. Here's why. What's big right now? Anybody used Insights for Search? Yeah? I think it's a great tool. It's a free tool. It just allows you to see what's on the world's mind, what are people looking at. So if you haven't used it, you type Insights for Search into a search engine, and any good search engine will get you to the link for Insights for Search. And there you go. There's a nice interface page. You can play around with it, see some demos, and you'll get the hang of what it can deliver for you. When I started at Google, I did this search. I looked for maxi dress. That is a maxi dress. It's a dress, gentlemen, that goes all the way down to the ground. And I was interested because I didn't know what a maxi dress was, so I actually went and found out what a maxi dress was. But then I did this search, and I saw basically what was happening in 2007 when I started at Google, what was the kind of interest and seasonality of interest in maxi dresses. There you go. Quite interesting. Then I did it again, and I spotted that it was rising faster and higher and earlier than in the previous years. And I kept an eye on this. And look at this. 2009, more interest, peaking earlier, going on for a bit longer. Look at what's happening this year. If only I'd got out of Google and got into maxi dresses, I'd be retired and living on a beach somewhere. But the important point is that these digital insights, people are telling you what they're interested in, and this information is available free to anybody on their desktop in real time. Real-time marketing, real-time strategy, real-time operations are possible because if you're running a store and you're doing nothing online, imagine that you're doing nothing online, but you know this. What do? You stock up earlier, you understand when to stock out, you look at what kinds of things you can sell, you look at what your competitive set's doing, you're looking at your pricing, and you can run your business better and smarter. Better inventory management, better stocking, better competitive pricing. You can run your business smarter. Forget marketing, everything else you can do can be powered by digital. And so I think digital changes everything and empowers the organization. So I think that big ideas can come from digital first and be digital first because of that interactivity and because of the insight that digital can bring you as to what is preoccupying your prospects and your customers. Here's an interesting big idea that's digital. Elf yourself. Anybody seen this? Cool, quite a few. So last year we had an event like this, and one of our guests was Bob Thacker from Office Max, which is, I think, the number 2 or 3 kind of office supplies player in the US. And he told a great story, which is they just didn't have a lot of marketing budget. And they, instead of spending what they had on a low level of traditional media, they cut it all up into small pots and tried a load of different things that were all digital first. One of the things they tried was this elf yourself thing where you could send around a link and you could put you and your family's photos on some dancing elves. It's very nice. 195 million people did that in the US. Their site traffic went up 200%. Intention to purchase from Office Max and some of their key brand metrics significantly shifted, and it really drove the repositioning and it drove sales for them very, very effectively. It also, by the way, was proliferated outside the US where it made no sense to any of us, but it was fun. And that's interesting because a digital-first idea that enabled interactivity really shifted the brand upwards in people's minds. And then they did other great stuff like repositioning themselves from boring office supplies into their logo being a big rubber ball made out of elastic bands, which they thought was the most fun you could have with office supplies, make a huge rubber ball, and that's now their logo. Really interesting way of doing things. Here's another example. Cadbury's. Anybody from Cadbury's here? Hello? Hello, Cadbury's. Spots versus stripes. What a great concept. TV ad driving people, and lots of outdoor ads now, driving people to this idea of spots versus stripes. Only works when you go to digital and think about how to engage. Be in the spots team, be in the stripes team. Leading up to the 2012 Olympics, we'll see a lot more of that. A lot of interaction around Cadbury's positioning themselves very nicely. I don't know if it's influenced by the heated battle with Kraft or not, but it might be. Spots versus stripes, US versus UK. I don't know, but it's a great and interactive digital-first idea. This is Converse. What I wanted to do now was take that insights for search idea and look at how that is simply translated for one brand. Now, this is Converse talking, this is not Google talking. It's slightly kind of selling Google products, which is not what I want to do here today, but it's useful because it's a simple idea. So let's play the video and have a look at what Converse did.
At this very moment, the teenager is typing into this little box what they're thinking, what they're looking for, questions they're too scared to ask anybody else, about moments in culture that are happening that day, people everywhere on their computers asking a question. Any brand can buy these keywords. The more competition, the higher the price. So why are no brands buying the keywords teenagers are actually searching? This insight led us to our big idea. Be the first brand to build a campaign around low competition, low cost searches that connect us directly to our audience. So here's how it works. It's Friday and the Scripps Spelling Bee is tonight. People are searching for it. We know this from the Google Zeitgeist. So we buy AdWords on Google, but we do it differently. Instead of trying to sell people something, we say something conversational, something interesting, and lots of people click. And it's cheap. Now we give them the Converse take on a spelling bee.
Now this spelling bee works a bit different. This is the first ever search engine spelling bee. How it works is when I say the first word, go back to your search engine and type it into the search box. If you got it right, you'll see an ad on the right-hand side of the page for round 2. Are you ready? The first word is ludicrous.
In this case, we sent people back to use the Google search box to play the game. We turned an advertising space into a game space. We leaned into frame. This was a moment in culture, and we brought Converse into it. So we decided to make dozens of these sites, launching new ones each week, and all the sites are connected together so people can explore them. Here are some more highlights. On June 20th, all the top searches on Google have to do with summer solstice, first day of summer.
Let me just say that you obviously don't have to all be Converse, and actually that's a big idea that anybody could have done at that kind of scale for the last 9 or 10 years. So interesting and very direct innovation. You don't have to do a Converse. Here's Flora. What's the big idea about Flora? Yeah, cholesterol, exactly. So what do when you type cholesterol levels? There's Flora, telling you all about cholesterol. Very, very simple and direct. So more than anything else, with big ideas and great insights that can change the way you run your whole organization, the most important thing to be doing is leaping and learning, because none of these digital things need to be betting the farm. So we really encourage you to leap and learn. I hope that you find the rest of this morning's content really inspiring and significantly better than what you've seen from me. But I just wanted to end with one more example, which I think is fun and brings to life what you can do with digital in terms of its interaction. So if we can go to the demo laptop. I don't know whether anybody has seen this.
Just shoot it! Hey, I don't want to shoot this bear. Help me rewrite this story. Type anything you want with your keyboard, then enjoy.
Oh, he seems to want us to help him rewrite the story. So what would you like the hunter to do to the bear? Anybody? Dance with him. Excellent. Any other ideas? What would you like him to do? Marry. Hunter marries a bear. Isn't that nice? Any other suggestions, anybody? Snogs? Shags? Hunter shags a bear. Ah. There you go. I've showed a video of a hunter shagging a bear at the Royal Opera House. My career is over. Thank you very much.